just take a while. Show. There we go. It's not loading yet, though. Oh, cool. Love whenever it tricks me. It's always a good time. Alrighty. Fresh. Everything's fresh on Kick. Good, it's running. Everything's good on YouTube and Rumble. Alrighty. Everything's good. Alrighty. I think everything's good. I think everything's good to go. I'll wait for some people to get in here, and then we'll get started. Wonder how my thumbnail looks here. I think it looks hilarious. I think it's hilariously going. I'm just going to go with some really, really, really silly thumbnails from now on for live streams. Because why not? Seems like a good time. So, let's see. Cool. Everything looks fine to me. How's everyone doing? I found this article, just came up. Figured I'd go ahead and I'm going to read it off, and then I'll clip it later and make it a video. Why not? I may do that several times. I don't know yet. But I definitely want to read this out, for sure. FBI cuts ties with SPLC after pleas from top conservative organizations. Letter shows. So this is kind of wild, right? Washington. Kash Patel's announcement that the FBI was cutting all ties to the Southern Poverty Law Center followed a letter from top conservative leaders urging the White House to distance itself from the group. The Daily Wire has learned. That is absolutely fantastic to hear. Enough is enough, the leaders wrote to the White House Domestic Policy Council Director Vince Haley in a previous unreported letter. The SPLC's defamatory hate map should no longer be used by federal agencies as a flag leaf to discriminate against conservatives. The letter specifically called for President Donald Trump to issue an executive order removing any SPLC data from all federal agency websites and work to block future use of the SPLC data on federal agency websites and work. Well, did I just reread that? Removing and to block. Okay, why'd they have to repeat themselves twice there? Well, that actually threw me through a loop. I thought I do this on purpose. I highlight everything so I don't accidentally skip up and start reading, the same line again and have to find my place. That absolutely threw me through a loop. Good job, guys. Don't do that. That's just a way not to write an article, in my opinion. And to block federal funds from going to government contractors who use the SPLC's work to determine what organizations they will work with. Moms for Liberty CEO Tina, Deskovich, I think, Deskovich, whoever, led the effort, joined by Turning Point Action's Tyler Bauer, Dr. Ben Carson, Alliance Defending Freedom, President Kristen Wagoner. Speaking of Tyler Bauer, we're going to get to him a little later on, aren't we? A little wild. Family Research Council President Tony Perkins, Wall Builders founder David Barton, Liberty Council's founder, Matthew Staver, Gays Against Groomers, Jamie Mitchell, and New Discourses found under James Lindsay. Well, I'm surprised James Lindsay isn't too busy talking about the woke right at the moment. Though, now that I'm seeing Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes, the way they're going, it's a good possibility the woke right does exist at this point, right? I guess they would be it, right? I don't know. It's just easier to classify them as grifters, to be honest. Because they are grifters. They are absolutely grifting as griftily as they can be grifting. Mostly Candace Owens, though. I just don't know enough about Nick Fuentes. I haven't dug into him yet. So, I don't know. I'll get around to that. Candace right now is just making hers too obvious. Like, it's unbelievably sad. Unbelievably sad. I would feel bad for her if she didn't have her child doxing website and wasn't like a super hardcore liberal months before creating Red Pill Black. I don't even think most people that follow Candace Owens know anything about Red Pill Black, which is kind of wild, right? Kind of a crazy situation. I see a lot of people just, they probably don't even know about her garbage with Steven Crowder, which he completely lied about him negotiating, right? It's kind of a wild thing. She just makes stuff up. She makes stuff up so often that she'll contradict herself literally within the same sentence. It's unbelievably hilarious. And somehow people never catch it. She'll sit there, like, what she did with Steven Crowder, obviously. The whole, here's, why don't you put your big boy pants on and negotiate? And then when he negotiated with us for $140 million, was it really not about the money, Steven? So we turned him down. And it was like, okay, did y'all give him a counteroffer? No. Oh, so what you're saying is that there actually was no negotiation. There was no possible negotiation. And Steven Crowder did try to negotiate. Okay. Nice job contradicting yourself completely. So, I don't know. Following James Lindsay, I've been watching him really spiral. I don't think he takes criticism well, and that's probably why. I think if he would have taken the criticism better about it, he could have explained himself better, assuming that he was right. You know what I mean? But I don't know that he is. Anyway, notice that Candace Owens is not on this list, though. That's kind of weird, right? Actually making change. Charlie Kirk actually making change. Candace Owens, perpetual employee that burns bridges. I wonder which one is probably right. Anyway, the signatories argued that the SPLC has become so biased, politicized, and unmoored from its original mission that it has begun placing traditional value in faith-based organizations like Alliance Defending Freedoms, Moms for Liberty, Liberty Council, and the Family Research Council on its hate map. That's just crazy, right? Like, that's absolutely psychotic. They even have Luke Rodowski literally on there as a KKK member and a neo-Nazi. Like, yeah, and so they also classified all these people as, let's see, a map that tracks over 1,400 individuals and groups that it deems hateful and extremist classes with the KKK. It's just, how do you even do that? Like, it's absolutely crazy that they were even allowed to do that without getting completely sued into the dirt. How dare you openly call somebody a racist that is along the lines of the Klan or anything like that, and then just get away with it? It's just okay to call people that openly, put them on a list, make sure they can never get hired anywhere, all that stuff. If you had evidence that that was true, I'd totally get it, right? You can call people out for that. Like, there are two people I could actively name that were absolutely Klansmen, David Duke and Robert Byrd. I can also say, for a fact, Hillary Clinton's mentor was a KKK leader. Guess what? She can't sue me for that, ever in a million years. Because she said that. She came out and admitted that. It was either David Duke or Robert Byrd, Klansmen, and they were her mentor, and she never once thought bad of them ever. Guess who spoke at, I think it was Robert Byrd's funeral? That or was David Duke. I always confuse the two. In 2010, Joe Biden gave the eulogy speech to either Robert Byrd or, David Duke. Klansmen. It's wild how they're always on the left. Why isn't there a Republican president right now? I don't know, Donald Trump, who has ever been caught with an actual Nazi or Klansman? How is it always the left that gets caught with Nazis? Like, look at the Canadian Parliament when they were applauding the actual literal Nazi from World War II. And let me tell you something. It wasn't like a neo. He actually fought in World War II as a Nazi. And the Canadians gave him a standing ovation. It's crazy, right? Anyway, that list included Charlie Kirk and the organization he founded, Turning Point USA. Yeah, they were also compared to Klansmen. Just a few months ago, the SPLC ran a feature article viciously attacking Turning Point USA and Charlie Kirk for advocating for President Trump's agenda on such issues as faith and the reality of biological sex. The leaders wrote in their letter, "This would be laughable if the consequences of this reckless and dishonest behavior were not so deadly serious." Okay, so, months later, Kirk, we know what happened, and, we're going over all of this stuff. Let's get to the conclusion here, though, okay? At the end of the day here, guys, let's see. Oh, here, let's quote this. In April, during our anti-Christian bias panel, I made it clear that the FBI will never rely on politicized or agenda-driven intelligence from the outside groups, and certainly not from the SPLC, Patel added. Under this FBI, all ties with the SPLC have officially been terminated. Watch the SPLC just rename themselves, and then they're working with them. That'd be kind of funny. The Northern Poverty Law Center. The FBI confirmed to the Daily Signal that it has no intelligence products from the SPLC and that it no longer engages with the far-left group. The news comes just days after Patel shared that the FBI had also severed ties with the Anti-Defamation League, which is absolutely fantastic. A nonprofit that purports to oppose anti-Semitism, but also has condemned critics of transgender ideology, including the Daily Wire's Matt Walsh. So, we don't need any more of that stuff. Yeah, I have 6 free articles remaining here. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Daily Wire. I'm still not going to pay for you. Anyway, what do you guys think of all that? Let me know down in the description or in the comment section below. Join my Discord, guys. Comment down in the description below. Give me a like, share and subscribe and all that good stuff. I'll see you guys here in the next one. Later. Badoom. And there we go. That's a full video. So you guys watch me live create a full video. Because why not? I figured I'd do it. It'll help. How's it going, Melvin? How's it going, JR? How's it going, Terry? Y'all doing good? It was Robert Byrd. Well, I mean, I was talking about both of them, so that doesn't help because I'm reading text. Yeah, it was Robert Byrd's funeral is what I imagine you're telling me, though. Which one was for Hillary Clinton, though? Robert Byrd or David Duke? Or was it both of them in general? Said before, Tyler family was Mormon, and 2, it never said he left religion. I mean, he's dating a trans man, though. What do you mean? He got a trans boyfriend. Anyway, and it was literally the, day or 2 after the, good seeing you too, Terry. Who was it? The, Michigan church, trans person that shot up the church. It came in hot off the heels off that, I don't know. So I don't care what religion they were. We know why he did it. What did Psycho say now? Oh, we'll be getting into her stuff. Don't worry. Did I even pull it up? I have all this up. Did I pull up any of Candace's BS? I got the Nick Sortor stuff pulled up. Let's see. I got this stuff, which is some extras. I got the J.K. Rowling stuff pulled up. I probably really should have, let's pull this down. Let's bring up all the, Candace Owens stuff real quick. I don't know why I didn't do that. Oh yeah, here's the son being an idiot. I got so many things I could talk about right now. It's ridiculous. I don't think I'm getting through this full live stream. Candace is exposing their playbook, goes beyond Charlie Kirk assassination. Why is this is a silly, oh my God, this is actually really, really stupid. Okay. So they're saying, why is Utah State prosecutors picking Tyler Robinson's attorney? Got a state-appointed attorney. You can just read the documents, right? You get to choose between a list of state-appointed attorneys. Seems pretty simple. And then he got to pick this attorney that is very, very, very pro-trans. So I don't understand the problem. He's literally getting an attorney that agrees with him on most issues. I don't know. I don't know why they're freaking out, you know? Wait, he only got 2 years? For real? That's crazy. I know a lot of people have been covering the whole Diddy trial and stuff. I couldn't bring myself to do that. I really thought about it. I really thought about going, hey, could I live stream and hop on that like the Johnny Depp thing? I should have hopped on that Johnny Depp trial. It was so funny. Oh, man, it was so funny. I would have had a really good time doing that. I don't know why I didn't do that. But, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, I swear you could see the difference in her eyes from a year ago. And, yeah, her eyes just scream evil. My eyes right now are screaming, I am dead tired. My kids kept me up, oh, God, all night. And then we had to go and pick up groceries. And I cannot stand going into the grocery store. It drains me. It drains me so much. So many people who just don't know how to, like, move at all. They're just bad at it. It's wild. Like, I've never seen just a more incompetent group of people stuck in one spot who don't know how to properly move. And I don't mean just like they, like, you know, step out in front of you or they're a little rude or something like that. I'm like, you'll see someone literally almost every time just eat the dirt. Like, they'll just, like, it's amazing to me. They just let go of their cart and they're just, you know, and they're just gone. And you just watch them slam right onto the ground. It's like, what is wrong with you freaking people? And then they're making a big deal out of it when they're laying on the ground. And it's just like, Jesus Christ. Like, I know gravity sucks for you, but you're not, like, you're big, but I know it didn't hurt that bad. You know? It's like, just get up. Like, it's already embarrassing enough. You know, they just get in the way. They get in the way bad. But people, I see them trip up over themselves all the time. Car will go wild, and you're just like, Jesus, Ursa, can you hold on to that? You know? And genuinely, people won't pay attention to. You'll just be stopped in the aisle. Y'all be pulled all the way over, grabbing stuff, and someone will just hit the cart, bump it right into my side, and oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. And I'm like, we're in an aisle. There is nothing else except for me obscuring the entire rest of the aisle. What are you doing? Like, I don't know. I can't stand it. It's ridiculous, you know? He'll serve only, oh yeah, he'll be out in like 4 months. He probably won't even actually go. They'll sentence him. They'll pretend like he went, and then he'll be in his mansion the whole time, and then they'll say that he, you know, got out early, and he's got an ankle monitor on, though. It's, I don't know. I have no doubts whatsoever that, you know, he's just going to get off scot-free. And, you know, he didn't really even get charged with anything. I don't even know what they were trying to get him with. Like, was it just that one lady that he, like, abused or something? Oh, well. YouTube censoring your comments again? Yeah, that's dumb. That's really dumb. Oh, man. I'm thinking about starting a live streaming gaming channel to do every now and then. Yeah. Yeah, they're going to give him the ankle monitor, for sure. Absolutely for sure. Yeah, it's not going to be, it's not going to be surprising at all. He's just going to get away with it. But anyway, let's listen to Candace here. This is unbelievably dumb. You know, they're talking about, she's saying the system is rigged. The state big shot attorneys will always take the state side and, you know, all this stuff. So that was very wrong here. And I believe a lot of you are starting to see it. This goes beyond the Charlie Kirk stuff now, and it represents the entire big picture. What's the big picture, though? Infiltration. blackmail, and the constant lingering threat of assassination is why things never seem to be resolved. Notice how, like, there's no actual point to this, though? It's like, oh, this is why things never seem to be resolved. Well, what specific things are you talking about? You know, what was it for? Why are people being blackmailed? What's going on exactly? You know what I mean? Just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Okay, so it's looking like an operation, right? We are right now living through the JFK.
Insert game of operation. That'd be really fun. Oh, man, that'd be funny to, like, I should do that. Just edit in a game of operation when she says that.
JFK assassination. We weren't there for that. The majority of us weren't there for that. I wasn't there for that. But we wondered. We knew we were still being lied to about that assassination. And
yes, that's
I
obvious.
just wondered, like AJ did, allowed yesterday.
Do you know why that's obvious, Candace? Because the bullet that hit Kennedy could not have made that many holes throughout his body, as well as through the car. And it would have had to turn, twisted, and made so many other angles. It's obvious he was shot multiple times from the front. We could see that literally, like, based on the evidence, where everything was going. We could also base that based on the fact that the back of his head went towards the shooter. That's not possible. That's weird, right? Kind of odd. There's so much, like, not ballistic, just forensic evidence, I guess you could say, that would contradict everything we know about physics whenever a bullet hits you. That being said, Charlie Kirk's, it's obvious that what we saw here was not an exit. It was an entrance. We don't know for sure, because there was no camera that caught it, at least that was released, if there was an exit out the back or not. And I know there's a lot of people that were like, no, there was a window behind him, and you could kind of see something fly behind him. Go through the back and out the front, and it not hit the crowd? And the crowd not get sprayed? You know what I mean? It's a little unusual. It's a little strange that those two things wouldn't have taken place. So it looks to us like everything I'm seeing, even though I'm seeing other videos go, see, look, this is an exit wound. That just does not seem to be the case. Because with an exit, you're going to see spraying happen out the back of the exit. You know what I mean? You're not going to see it just kind of come out like a fountain. Just not quite. So it doesn't look like an exit to me at all. Things seem to actually match up. The only issue we're really having some serious issues with is the fact that was a .308 caliber. Now, I don't know what the grain would have been. I don't know how small they would have went and how, like, do they even make subsonic rounds? I don't think they can make subsonic rounds for something that large, right? I'm not necessarily sure you can. But if they do, then it's all too possible for that exact shot on the roof to have just happened. And she seems to think that just the tarp at the top of the tent would have stopped anything. Not at that distance. No, I think he would have been able to see under that pretty well, you know. From the Paramount Ballistics, the footage from the right shows his head bulged, so I believe it was lodged. If that is true, they had to use a really low grain bullet, you know. And I don't know what what it would have been. I'm not a ammunition expert by any means, so I don't know the specifics behind it.
Did
I'll take a look at your video.
JFK
for sure.
just try to cover it up? I think the answer might be yes. I think he was surrounded. I think he was infiltrated.
Wait, what?
Just wondered, like AJ did, allowed yesterday. Did all of the homies of JFK just try to cover it up? I think the answer might be yes. I think he was surrounded. I think he was infiltrated. And then they got rid of him because of wrongthink. He had the wrong ideas that perhaps maybe every foreign nation should register under FARA. Anyways, how this works
She's not,
is
it's not
that
news.
then you have to kind of put together like a Warren Commission, right? JFK, the Warren Commission, a complete and utter farce to pretend like the government's taking it seriously and investigating. Well, if Tyler Robinson's going to be our patsy, and I do want to be clear here, I'm not saying that Tyler Robinson is guilty of nothing. Right? It's his gun. There's weird stuff going on there. I don't believe he pulled the trigger. But if they're going to make that stick,
is there a reason as to why you do not believe he did, though? And see, that's the biggest problem with Candace, is she'll say, I don't believe something. I think it's this. But she doesn't proceed to show us why she thinks it's this, other than it's her gut feeling or something. And that's just a huge issue. It's not correct to be preaching to people like that. What specific reasoning do you have to say that he could not have done it? Like, why? Actually, genuinely, why? I want to know. I can understand if there is evidence out there. But if you're going to try and tell us that this couldn't have been it, you have to explain to us and give us the sources, talk to us, say, this is the reason why. And I never see Candace doing that. The thing is she could be correct. But there's a reason why you show your work. Because if you don't show your work, nobody's going to be able to figure out if what she's saying is true or not. It's a huge issue, and she should know that. She should understand that. She does know that. She does understand.
Then you got to have a lawyer that's working for the prosecution.
Well, yeah, and that is the funny thing. She's a big proponent of facts don't care about your feelings. But what's hilarious, right? Why did she say Bibi Netanyahu's letter was not good? She said there was no timestamp on it, there was no signature, there's no date. That's why. So what does she do? Immediately show us text messages, quote unquote, that do not have a date, do not have a name, do not have anything in it to corroborate that those are real. And she peddled that out immediately as if it is indeed real. Is that not insane? So Bibi Netanyahu cannot do it, but Candace can. And that's a huge, huge issue. It's just a pissing contest. It's kind of like saying, hey, Emmanuel Macron's wife, actually a man. And unless she proves me wrong, she admits that she is a man. And now they're suing her. And it's like, what was the point of that? I want to know what the point of that was. Because there's no possible way Candace can win that. Because she actually doesn't have to prove by any means that she's a female. There is no legal requirement for her to show her nuts. You know what I mean? There's just not. So it's kind of a dumb, boneheaded move where you checkmate yourself. You know what I mean? Hello, Madness.
Right. Well, that's what's going on. Recently, Elizabeth Lane went on the Redacted podcast, and she discussed how the prosecutor is picking his opponent in the Tyler Robinson case. Take a listen to her explain that.
Investigative journalist Elizabeth Lane is not giving up on this story. She's been on the ground in Utah connecting the CIA dots, the three-letter agency dots and connections, and she joins us now. Elizabeth, great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me, Clayton. I looked at Tyler Robinson's case and I thought, well, why don't I get this guy a lawyer? Because that at least puts me near him so I can understand and control the process. And this is times where they couldn't find the guy a lawyer and they were kind of scrambling around to figure out who was going to be his lawyer. And I started approaching different firms in Utah, trying to get him a lawyer for pro bono. So I walked up
so he's
to
getting a pro
one
bono
of the
lawyer.
most reputable firms in Utah, and I asked them if they were willing to represent Tyler Robinson for pro bono case. And I was extremely surprised what I got from them. First and foremost, they were like, yes, we're absolutely on this because we don't believe that what happened to Charlie Kirk was remotely a case of just a single, crazy kid going up and shooting the guy in the neck. Like, we don't believe that, so we are more than willing to represent him pro bono. So I was like, great. So we started
just
the
gonna straight up show
process,
this?
and what happened is we realized that we needed lawyers who are actually certified with death penalty, so their certifications didn't live up to that. But there's another interesting thing. When I did find a lawyer
thank
that
God.
was certified to
Okay, anyway, look. Long story short with all this here. She found a pro bono lawyer. What in the world? Why does Candace have a problem with this? I don't understand. She found a lawyer literally willing to give their time and, do this case for him. Like, this is wild that Candace has a problem with this.
represent Tyler Robinson. Obviously, I needed a consent from Robinson's family.
Oh, yeah, for
or
sure.
Robinson himself, because he's actually not a minor. He can consent himself.
100% correct,
we were
Madness.
unable to get in touch with the parents, because as a lawyer, you can't solicit clients. So it's illegal. So you can't just announce yourself that I'm going to represent Tyler Robinson. So I started doing that. So I got into this process and I asked my local lawyer firm, hey, what's the best way to go around here? Like, we need help to get the lawyer from New York who is certified to represent Tyler to get on the case. So he said, whatever you do, Elizabeth, do not get in touch with the firms in Utah that are the most powerful, because they are in on it with the state. No matter what happens, they will take the side of the state. I did not listen to him. And I ended up calling one of the biggest firms in Utah just to ask for an advice. Like, what is the situation here? What can we do? They started screaming on the phone. And I was like, why do you even care? Like, you don't have a dog in this fight. Why are you so rude on the phone? So then I said, listen.
So they just started screaming on the phone? Okay. Did you record any of these calls? Like, for real? Did you record any of them?
And there is a lawyer who's qualified, and he's actually very famous in New York, wants to represent this kid. All I need is a consent from Tyler Robinson to do so, and we think that you can help. To this, I got a very rude response that only SCORDIS is allowed to find a representation for Tyler Robinson. So SCORDIS is a guy who's running as a state prosecutor. So here's the problem with that. State prosecutor cannot be responsible to find a lawyer for a defendant. That's illegal. So
Right, that they're choosing their own opponent.
yeah, that's what it seems like.
And this is something that I've been wondering about, because it seems like an open and shut case for any.
That's not true, even close to true. Whoever's saying this is just full of crap. And we'll be when you'll see that whenever the trial starts. Why is she peddling this garbage? You know what I mean? The prosecutor's not going to go out specifically and find a guy who specifically agrees with him and then sets up a case. That's just not going to happen that way. And she's so full of crap. All these people are. I've never heard of a case like that, okay? I don't even believe it for a second. From what I understand, he got a very pro-trans person to represent him already. Who is, I'm going to find out real quick. Let's see here. Okay, thank you. Dang it. That probably reset the video, didn't it?
qualified.
Choosing.
There we go. Okay, let's pull this up. Who is Tyler's lawyer? Let's see. Kathy Nestor, also known as Catherine Nestor. Okay, I thought I was going to say Kathy again. Tyler Robinson's lead is Kathy pro-trans. There's no publicly available information inciting that Kathy Nestor, the Utah-based federal defense attorney, holds any specific personal views on trans issues. Okay. Who picked her to defend Tyler Robinson? Okay, let's see. Maybe Grok will shock me, and maybe they're gonna absolutely blow my mind here. So the Utah County Commission selected and appointed Kathy Nestor to represent Tyler Robinson in his aggravated case. The commission unanimously approved a contract for her services after a judge determined Robinson. Okay. Did Tyler Robinson have a choice? Let's see here. He had a limited choice in selecting his defense attorney. That's right, okay. So this is what I heard, that he had like 4 to pick from or something like that. Okay? After his arrest for, yes, we know, a judge determined that Robinson could not afford private counsel. Okay, that's pretty normal. As a result, the Utah County Public Defender's Office initially reviewed the case, but declined to represent him due to the case's complexity and the potential for a death penalty trial. So they didn't want to be responsible for that, so they declined. The Utah County Commission then appointed Catherine Nestor as his lead defense attorney on September 24th, 2025, following the recommendation of an independent criminal defense expert. While indigent defendants like Robinson are entitled to competent legal representation under the U.S. Constitution, they typically do not have the ability to choose their specific attorney in such cases. Well, duh. That's the whole point of being able to retain your own attorney or have a state-appointed one. I think Candace Owens might actually genuinely be stupid. You know what I mean? Just might actually be a very dumb person. Think about that. You have the ability to choose your own attorney. And if you cannot choose one, the state will appoint you one. And then Candace here is like, what is this? This is crazy. So Tyler can't choose his own? And it's like, no, he's getting a state-appointed attorney. Have you never heard of this? It's literally one of your own Miranda rights. Like, let me see if let's see. Miranda rights. Okay, let's see. Here you go. So, right to an attorney. Suspects consult with a lawyer before questioning. Right to a court-appointed attorney. If they cannot afford a lawyer, one will be provided. Does Candace not know this? This is what every single officer will say to you if you get arrested. Every single time. You have the right to remain silent. Suspects can choose not to answer questions. Right against self-incrimination. Anything said can be used against them in a court of law. Right to an attorney. Right to a court-appointed attorney. Is this really this unbelievably hard for Candace to understand? Court-appointed. What do you think that means? It means it was appointed by the court. I don't understand how Candace Owens can be this stupid on purpose. That is so shockingly stupid to me. I'm actually completely and totally bewildered that she thinks her audience is this stupid. If you are subscribed to Candace Owens, this is what she thinks about you. I'm just letting you know. She thinks you're so stupid that these people here could just talk around one of the most basic rights that is given to you that we hear almost every single day. Anybody who watches On Patrol, which I highly recommend people watch because that's literally Live PD. They changed the name and it's on Peacock. And they've been going strong. It's a fantastic show. You know, it's just Live PD. They just had to change the name because of George Floyd riots. Yeah, that sucks. That's some actual censorship, you know. Literally actual censorship. But, you know, left didn't care about that. They loved when Live PD got canceled just because it showed your average police officer. Wild, right?
Their own opponent
or cops, anything like that.
And this is something that I've been wondering about because it seems like an open and shut case for any defense attorney because the government has presented such a crap case unless his attorney is a shill.
Yes. So what I know is that Sortor
is state-appointed attorney
as a state prosecutor. He's running. Everyone can look it up. It's on his website. So it's not quite illegal for him to find a lawyer for Tyler, but it would be illegal if he was a state prosecutor. But what it is, though, is highly unethical.
How is that unethical? Court appointed. Court appointed.
Highly unethical. And the reason why I wanted to show you that clip
it's just an opinion.
Is because I've learned a lot over the last couple of years. And what I can tell you is that this gang that's running everything, okay, they also are...
I don't think Candace has learned much over the past couple of years. I think she got fired from Daily Wire for being an absolute, like, money hog. I think she has screwed up royally when arguing with Steven Crowder about the Daily Wire and was completely proven wrong. You know, she has burned every possible bridge she can burn with anybody in this community. She created social autopsy and doxed children before she was a red-pilled, quote, red pill black, you know. Like, it's unbelievable. It was just months before she created that channel. She doxed kids. It was hyper-liberal. It's wild to me, you know. It's a common thing you see here in USA movies, TV shows. Yeah, exactly. You even know that. Yeah, you even know the Miranda rights in over there in the land of the Dutch, huh? The land of the Nethers. The Nether Realm. And we have the head tilt. Yeah. You know. Yeah, Crowder should be suing her. He genuinely should be suing her. Like, I don't know what he'd be suing her for specifically, but he should just do it. At this point, it's disgusting, you know? Absolutely disgusting. I'm genuinely blown away with how stupid Candace Owens is, though. Yeah, no, she was never red-pilled. She was money-pilled. She was green-pilled, you know? She's collecting all this money. That's all she does is collect money and move on to the next thing. Like, she has opened her mouth about so many things she knows nothing about and has been proven wrong almost every single time. She is an actual eyesore to MAGA in general. And, oh man, Blair White was definitely Blair White about this whole subject. Blair White was the first one and really the only one to follow through with calling Candace out. Did a really, really good job. Everyone dropped it after that, and I was kind of blown away. It's definitely a bummer. The only one that's even fighting the good fight against her, you know, marginally anyway, is right now is the quartering. You know? Disappointed Megyn Kelly has doubled down on disavowing Candace. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know. I think she's just trying to, you know, Candace Owens is more relevant than Megyn Kelly, you know? I think she's trying to keep both ends burning. You know, one side, she's going to stick with TPUSA. She's probably going to really try and become the face of TPUSA, and I think she's just trying to not burn any bridges, you know what I mean? I don't necessarily blame her for that. I can understand her going, look, Candace, just, you know, lay off, trying to be nice. But I don't think Megyn Kelly's going to have a choice. I think Candace is going to keep pushing to the point where if Megyn Kelly wants to keep on with TPUSA, she's going to have to probably say something.
Controlling the courts. That's how you get a prosecution against somebody that makes no sense. And why do you do that? Because typically you're hiding government's crimes, right? You want people to stop looking. You want people to stop asking questions. You're not just asking questions. Yeah, no, we are implying here that everything you're telling us about the Tyler Robinson case makes no sense. But these people control the courts. And I got to tell you another thing. I want to be very clear. They even have figured out how to run a kangaroo court system. Total kangaroo court system where judges do not have to follow the law. Okay, Ian Carroll was on my show speaking about this pertaining to Justin Bieber. It is a fact. Arbitration courts, so they get you to sign a contract and you agree if you have an issue.
Hold on. If you're signing a contract, you are bounding yourself to the law. What do you mean? I genuinely want to see where she's going here.
Go to arbitration court. Most people don't know what that means. It's a private court.
Yeah, so you sign away your right. You literally sign a contract saying, I cannot sue you. You have to take it to arbitration. Now, there's ways already around that. So, Candace, nice face, by the way. Jesus Christ, that is so perfect for what, you know. I could talk over this all day. Wow. Man, look at that. Look at that. Doing this on a reverse camera is harder. I'm not very well multitasking. Like, I'm not good at it. So the fact that I have to pay attention that this arm is not my left arm and this is not my right, it makes things really, really difficult. Anyway, sorry. I just can't do that very often. I have to really focus. But anyway, I'd be a much better guitar player if I could do that. Could actually multitask. But anyway, as I was saying, the simple fact that Oh, man, I just lost my train of thought. What did she say? Sorry.
Most people don't know what that means. It's a private court where the
arbitration. Right. Man, I really do pause.
Judge.
Okay, I'll stop. Anyway. Oh my God. Oh, wow. That is a crazy face. Every time I look at it, it makes me so uncomfortable. Anyway, arbitration court, you shouldn't send your rights away ever to do arbitration, but that doesn't mean that they can blatantly break the law and then you can't sue them. You know what I mean? That's not what that means. Not even close. You could still genuinely actually take them to real court if they violate the law against you. You know what I mean? Like, there's such things as illegal contracts. Candace doesn't seem to understand how contracts work, and I know she doesn't understand how contracts work because she still kept calling the contract a term sheet back with the Daily Wire. She just is not business savvy enough. She has no clue how contracts work at all, and she has no clue how the law works. I wish that she could kind of have a little bit of a debate with Ben Shapiro over this, and he could explain this to her. But obviously, they don't like each other anymore, so, there's that.
Does not have to follow the law. They can just say you're guilty. And when you get to that level, there's usually a couple of reasons why they got
here. Wow, the most normal face possible.
These players that work for the government and are willing to lie and cheat and steal. And it is because the government needs a prosecution or you've pissed them off and they need a conviction against you because they're trying to bankrupt you. Okay? The corrupt cases, when you get really close to a truth, the government swoops in to try to bankrupt you. I am living proof of that.
You're bankrupt? Shit, that sucks. I didn't know that.
Never in the history of the world ever has there been a sitting leader of a foreign country that has sued a podcaster or a news member even.
You said that this lady has a dong. What did you think was going to happen when you made a claim like that with no proof? What? She's saying that she's like trying to, that France is going to try and bankrupt her. And it's actually decently deserved. You can't just say, you can't just make claims about people like that. That's slander. That's crazy. I understand, even if she actually technically is, you know what I mean? I think that his wife is actually a woman. It's just very funny to say she's not. I think it's hilarious. But I think she actually genuinely is probably a woman. But you can't just make the claim without some sort of evidence. It's wild. Candace thinks that's some sort of free speech. That's kind of crazy. You could just literally be like, yeah, everybody. That girl over there's got a wiener. It's like, well, no, because you're actually lying about her. And if, you make that person's life a lot more difficult because people actually genuinely believe what you're saying, could possibly mess her up, getting employed, having a future. Just in general, people would automatically think this horrific lie about somebody. Imagine that being a horrific lie to the left, though. I find it kind of to be funny that person would be very, very offended by it, even though they are very, very, very pro-trans. So all in all, it's a bunch of hypocrisy all going around. But at the same time, it's like, Candace, you gotta kind of understand what you did was a little wrong there.
Even a journalist in a foreign country for defamation, okay? I am the first. It is because we are getting close to a lot of truth
that person
when it comes to Brigitte Macron.
It's
okay?
hilarious.
And so now what they're doing is
I wonder if Macron literally is just like a slave to this person and it's not even Macron running things. That would explain why the country's ran so bad.
Calling their cronies. Right? Brigitte Macron has hired former federal prosecutors, and she's hiring a firm here. Why? Because the next option is Candace doesn't shut up, we're going to bankrupt her. These are the people that want you to believe they're successful in life organically. No. The entire system is rigged. It's rigged, okay? If you get too close to them and too powerful, usually suddenly a person gets inclined to commit suicide.
You still haven't, a good thing to land on, I guess. Good God. Anyway, you still haven't provided any kind of evidence whatsoever to any of these ramblings. Absolutely nothing. We
don't know why. And then suddenly there's a hostile takeover of their company or, a random person shoots them, right? If there's any threat against them, It's either you're smeared, you are bankrupted, or you die.
What is smearing, Candace? What is a smear? Can you tell us? Can you like actually tell us what a smear is? Because again, that's what you did to Macron's. God, what do you call her? Cradle robber? Can we just call her the cradle robber? That'd be fine, right? That's like legit, right? Like she would technically be like a cradle robber. Gross. It's such a nasty thing to say, isn't it? I wouldn't call her a cougar. That's a different thing. No, cradle robber for sure. Which is creepy. It is very, very creepy for Macron's wife-husband thing, to do that. But at the end of the day, you can't say she's a man without evidence. And that's what a smear is. And then Candace is sitting here complaining about smears. Just what Candace does. She doesn't make a whole lot of sense when she speaks. And it's really childish.
In rather mysterious circumstances. So watch this because you're learning the playbook. Everybody's waking up right now. You need to pay attention to this. This is another one of their mechanisms. They control the courts and they will get...
Who's they? Wait, I want to know who they is. I would like to know. Who's they?
Whatever it is they need to get accomplished in the courts, whether it's bankruptcy or a conviction that makes literally no sense, as is going to be the case with Tyler Robinson. They're going to...
I genuinely actually wonder if Ben Shapiro has upset her so bad that she has decided that she doesn't like all Jews now. Wouldn't that be hilarious? It's like she has one bad experience with a Jewish guy, and then all of a sudden it's just all of them.
Convict them, right? They found their patsy. They're going to make it work, and they're going to keep threatening the rest of us for noticing that nothing makes sense at all.
How are they making him a patsy, though, Candace? You haven't explained that, though. That's the issue I have. Genuinely, that's the issue I have. I don't understand where you're coming from because you have not laid out any evidence whatsoever or even reasoning. You haven't even told us why you don't think he's the shooter. You know what I mean? Like, she hasn't even told us the reason why. She's just like, oh, this kid there's just no way he could do it. And I'm like, well, okay, why, though? Like, I could have done it at the age of 10. Probably was a better shot at the age of 10 than I was today because I at least practiced a lot more back then. Like, I would go all the time out in the woods with my dad. And we'd fire, Get some targets set up out there, and we'd just do that. I was obviously before I was super duper into guitar and let guitar consume my life instead of guns or cars. I almost let cars do it. I almost did it. But you can't have multiple hobbies like that or, go broke very quickly. Guitar worked out, or won out on the selection there. And the thing about it is if I were told to point and put something down range, especially at 200 yards, it wouldn't have been that difficult. Wouldn't have been that difficult to teach me. So I failed to understand her reasoning at all. I think the video just ends there.
Okay.
Yep. So it's just very strange to me, And it's just this. You cannot be this dumb. You are talking about a public defender. Have you ever heard of Miranda? Oh, this guy says it right here. Exactly. An example, or whatever I can't remember. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to you. Yeah. Did you watch the video? No, you didn't, because if you did, you would know that they turned down a high-profile lawyer from New York who was going to represent him that was not a free lawyer who was qualified doing the sentence. She says that, right? She has said that. The issue is that Tyler Robinson and his family have not come out and said that. They said that they took a public defender. That's the problem. Unless one of the family members comes out and says they will not let this lawyer represent my son, then I'm not going to sit there and buy into a random person saying, I'm a journalist, I'm going to find this guy a lawyer. Why would I believe that? With no evidence. She didn't even bother to record any of what the lawyers were saying either when they were chewing her out after she knew that they were going to do that. I was warned that if I go up for the higher lawyers, they work with the state and they're all bought out. So I called them and then they all started chewing me out and stuff. But I didn't bother to record it. It's like, I record anytime I have a customer service issue. You know what I do when I literally have to get my smoker fixed downstairs because the igniter went out. I don't think it's going to be expensive to fix, but I'm just going to see if my warranty covers it. I just realized I have one. So when I call them tomorrow, okay, I am going to record the entire call. I have like 5 or 6 customer service calls on my desktop right now. I won't pull them up because nothing happened, and I just do it for my own, sake. If someone treats me badly, if they do something wrong, I put the phone just right here and I just talk, and it captures everything perfectly. Phone right in here under the grill. I can just talk like this. Everything works fine. You can hear it clear as day. And I do that to cover my own rear end here. Let alone I'm going to call a lawyer in the biggest case, like probably in the past 10 years. This is going to be the biggest case. It's going to be live streamed. Do you know how many people are going to be streaming this? Do you know how many times I'm going to be streaming it? I'm absolutely going to do everything I can to stream every single trial if I can. I'm going to be doing that for sure. Starts October 30th, I think. So it's going to be a crazy, crazy end of the month. And yet, she didn't think to record it? It's just unbelievable. So this guy's an idiot. Candace Owens is an idiot. This person, I am not convinced that boy should be ended. I'm not. My soul doesn't agree, not beyond a doubt. And this guy's like, what case in history did they ever not release information on? I'm 99.9% convinced this person was an operation like I've been saying. Yeah, he could be. Guess what? He agreed to it. I don't care. It doesn't matter if there are 30 people behind the end of Charlie Kirk. I am very, very, very convinced they should all be given the chair. All be given the firing squad. The 29th of October is voting day for your country. Oh, nice. Man, we can cover a couple of pieces of news within that same week. Hopefully y'all vote the correct way. That's all I can say. Anyway, yeah, this is crazy. And this guy's like, this was not a random lone gunman. Okay. I don't believe it was. Neither does the FBI. The FBI believes that it's an entire terror network. So, what's his point? They're not covering that up. Yeah, only record, yeah. There was one video I recorded, and it's still on here. It's that freaking psycho lady that was for Eco Water when I got that water treatment system. It's an expensive system. We got it on our house, and they almost lost us that system. And then she ended up being so mean about it. So I recorded her call on it, and then she wanted me to remove my Google review and stuff, but I left that video up. And just never buy a system from Eco Water ever. If you know it's from Eco Water and it's the one from Kansas City, don't. They're all throughout the country. They can come to your, state and install a water treatment system and all. Never, ever use Eco Water. I will never be able to recommend them. I was treated so poorly. It's unbelievable. Now, they did end up moving my system for free on the very last day before I sold my house and almost lost the system. It would have normally been like a $2,000 job to completely cut up the pipes, move it, patch the pipes, and then bring it over to my place and install it again. It's a salt water. One of those water softeners, you have the salt machine and put all the salt in it. It's one of those. Yeah, they almost lost me that system. It's crazy. Just never, ever, ever go with them. But anyway, all that aside, I recorded that phone call and I actually released it here. I don't release a lot of phone calls. I also have a lot of scam calls that I've recorded that I thought were funny, and I need to do a compilation on that. Because I always, as soon as I get a scam call, I run up here and I start recording and I put it here and I try to make fun of the guy until he hangs up or cusses me out. Hopefully it's cussing me out because those are the ones that make it. But I only have 2 of those. And I want to get 30 of them before I release a video on it. I think it'd be very funny. So anyway, we have all this. Candace Owens is losing her freaking mind. I'm probably going to have to, I got to save this. I'll repost it. And actually, I'm not going to give this guy a like. He's dumb. He doesn't deserve that heart. You don't deserve your heart. Anyway, let's see here. Daniel Sugarman. Daniel Sugarbooger here. Well, unarmed is certainly one way to describe the attacker. Let's talk about J.K. Rowling here for a bit. Think one anti-EU party can't be voted on, but could be that the board was full. Haven't gotten voted papers yet. Gotcha. Ugh. Yeah, that's rough. It really sucks. Why can't they be voted on, though? Why can't the anti-EU party be voted on? That's crazy that they're just like, yeah, you guys can't vote for this party. You must vote the way that they deem correct. That's really disturbing. Oh, man. Other countries will never understand, for the most part. Only the citizens, but never the leftists, for sure. Never understand how lucky we are to be in America. Just amazing to me that other countries in the world have not done what we have done. And we have so many people now wanting to destroy America in America. 20 years ago, guys, I'm not even kidding. And I grew up, I was alive 20 years ago. I was a 13-year-old kid 20 years ago. And I never heard if you talked bad about America, people would be actually really genuinely upset all around you. Kids would tell you to shut up and go away. Our teachers, growing up, even the mean ones, would tell us how amazing it is to be in America. And they taught us a lot of laws over in the UK. They taught us laws over in, just in general in the EU, and always told us how they don't even have free speech. They used to be so honest about it. And back then, the UK still had actually a genuine amount of free speech. It's scary how much, even normal teachers these days aren't teaching kids that. That is really, really scary. So, just crazy stuff. Let's see. Well, so anyway, one of the victims was ended yesterday in yesterday's attack at the synagogue in Manchester, who was shot. This guy apparently was ended by an officer when they were trying to, end the attacker. And apparently this attacker was unarmed. The unarmed attacker, the man who had a knife and explosive vest on. Are you kidding? That is crazy. J.K. Rowling actually shared this, so I figured it would be, part of what she had done, what she was, part of her story that I'm covering here is what I'm trying to say. Good God, if I could even speak today. So Sturgeon, you all remember Sturgeon? Isn't that wasn't this the person from Australia? Nicola Sturgeon? Was it Nicola Sturgeon? Wasn't this a Australian prime minister or something? I haven't heard from Bering in a while. I wonder if he could clarify that for me. I just used him as my Australian guide. Let's see here. Nicola Sturgeon. I'll just see who they were. Oh, no, Scotland. Scotland, okay. I'm thinking of Count Dankula here. Who's probably spoken about Sturgeon a lot. If I had to guess. Isn't it a fish? Well, unfortunately, I don't think this person could float very easily. I think they're more of a sinker. You know what I mean? Pretty sure sturgeon, it's not a very good fish. Yeah. I don't know. I've heard of that, but then there's Sturgis, which is a bike rally. A lot of people like their Harley Davidsons. Nicola Sturgeon has reignited the public spat with J.K. Rowling, accusing the author of being fixated with her. Really? Wait, hold on. So J.K. Rowling hasn't said anything. Nicola Sturgeon out of nowhere says, she's fixated with me. Well, that seems likely. I wonder who's the obsessed person. Their bad blood over the SMP's controversial gender ID laws became personal when Harry Potter writer wore a t-shirt branding the ex-First Minister a destroyer of women's rights. Yeah, for sure she is. And they've swapped further barbs since the former nationalist leader's memoirs were published in August. That's a proper way to talk about how two women are fighting, right? It's funny. Nick Fish. Ew. Icky. Is this a dude? Is Nicholas Sturgeon a dude? I don't know. It's interesting. Now, it says Miss Sturgeon has aimed to swipe. Yeah, but I don't know. Is that a like added name? Is that a Mr. Sturgeon that became a Miss Sturgeon? I don't know. Anyway, based on author is obsessed with her and using inflammatory language. Gross. Asked on Irish radio station News Talk whether she had felt hurt and targeted by Miss Rowling's t-shirt, and she said, "There are some people who just seem to fixate on me in this debate, and that's their right." Well, are you the face of the debate or not? You know? And you're saying fixate. You're the one that literally, like, it's like, you know, you got a group of people around you, right? And one of those people has like a torch. And then that one person starts setting fire to things, even though there's an entire group behind them cheering them on. Which one do you think is going to be at fault, though, for setting the fire? Probably the one doing it. I understand that the other people cheering them on are also wrong. But I think I would fixate on the person that has the torch in their hand if I want to stop the fire from spreading. Right? That just makes sense to me. And this person's like, well, they're fixating on me. And it's like, yeah, but you're the one, none of the other people in Scotland were destroying women's rights. You know what I mean? It was you. So why shouldn't we talk about you? That's weird. I just sometimes wonder where they get the time or the energy. I certainly wouldn't have the time or the inclination to do it in reverse. What are you... You're getting interviewed right now, doing exactly the same thing you're accusing J.K. Rowling of doing. These people have absolutely no self-awareness. That's wild. I would never have the time and energy to fixate on J.K. Rowling. Okay, when did J.K. Rowling talk about you last? It's been a while. Okay, that's great. Thank you for reigniting, all of this. You dummy. Literally, Nicola Sturgeon has reignited her public spat with J.K. Rowling. I just sometimes wonder where they get the time or energy. I certainly wouldn't have the time or the inclination to do it in reverse. Do people does anybody actually like Nicola Sturgeon? Sturgeon? Yeah, Sturgeon. Good God. It's a she. Went back a few seconds to see the pic again. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I was going to pull up a picture, but yeah, you know what? I'll take it. I don't want to look at it again. I genuinely don't. Anyway, I think everybody's got to be responsible and make their own decisions about how they engage in debates. And at the time, J.K. Rowling did what you're referring to. I was first minister, of course. I should have been under tough scrutiny, and I had to have a thick skin of a sturgeon. Then you just see her start flopping. Yeah. Yep. That's a floppy. I don't know. That looks like that's a damn man. That's a damn man. Are you kidding me? Okay, we're finding out now. Generate an answer for me then, AI. Yes, Nicola Sturgeon is a biological woman. No way. No way. Are you kidding me? Hold on. There's just no way. Look at this side profile, okay? Brave side view. Is it somewhere's the brave? The brave. Hold on here. Right? Am I crazy? Am I crazy? Can I get a side profile? Let's see. Surely I can, right? Man, if I could just get a good side profile of him. Doesn't it look like him? Does it not sound like... Does it not look like him? I don't know. I think that's a good... think if I could get his chin out and him not looking down, you know? I don't know. Am I the crazy one, guys? Am I insane for this? Let me just get a good Samwise. I'll just put Samwise. Maybe it's more likely that I could find just more pictures in general of him here. And I just need a good side view. I just want him looking to the left. I'm sure there's got to be an image of him somewhere looking off like at Frodo, like, you know. Oh, wow, they drove. Is that Robin Williams as Samwise? What the heck? Come on. Oh. Ooh. Kind of looks like him, too. Who's this guy? James Corden. Let's see if I can get James Corden. Hold on. Kind of looks like James Corden. I could see why they would choose it, like, you know, consider him. Let's see. A little bit bigger face, though. A little bit bigger face than... Yeah, it doesn't quite have the chin. Has a little bit more of that chin out there. I think Samwise just has that. You know what I mean? Got a bit more of that chin on the side profile. It just looks like him to me. Oh, here we go. Kind of... I don't know. I wish I could see it better. It just reminds me of him for some reason. But anyway, that's a damn man. I just don't believe it. Right? Man, I can't believe I'd be wrong about that. I just saw it and I was just like, for real? All right, whatever. I have no evidence. I'm not going to Candace Owens this crap, you know. So I just got to give it to him. Biological woman. That just shocks me. You know what I mean? It shocks me, but at the end of the day, you know, makes you wonder when someone looks that much like that and then is advocating for, you know, trans people to be going and harassing women in the bathroom. Well, hey, I'd rather be going down that rabbit hole than, well, I guess I got to finish that one. Anyway, J.K. Rowling, I don't know what most Brits feel, but I'm appalled and ashamed. You know, I wonder how Brits feel when they hear Jews say they no longer feel safe in the UK. Are you kidding me? So this is kind of a problem I have with her on this, right? Women don't feel safe in the UK, which she's, you know, openly talked about. The normal male populace does not feel safe in the UK, which she doesn't ever talk about, and that drives me nuts. But it's not just the Jews either here. And she's saying Jews don't feel safe. She goes, I feel appalled and ashamed. It is every single British citizen no longer feels safe in the UK. Unless they live in a rich, gated community. Those are the only people who could claim that. But do you think a gated community is going to stop a Terry? Not a chance. Once the other people are, you know, taken care of by the terrorists eventually, at least in their mind, they will absolutely start making their ways into the wealthy neighborhoods. They'll scale those fences in a heartbeat, and they'll detonate. There you go, you know. That's a pretty good one. No, that's... Oh, man, okay. What if we get a bunch of people to do that in, like, Hassan's chat? You know what I mean? Like, actually go, I'm a trans mod because, you know, self-appointed. That's really funny. You know? They should have more reliable source than AI. Yeah, DuckDuckGo AI sucks. I don't want to rely on them. I need to get rid of DuckDuckGo. I should have fixed the browser earlier. I've just been... Yeah. I've been lazy. I've been really lazy this week. A lot going on this week, so I've just been wanting to sit down, you know. Anyway, let's see here. You have to be pretty sick to go and chant from the river to the sea at a train station on the day of a Terry attack, a lot of these people, I guess, have been doing that today. Going out there chanting from the river to the sea, you know, and if there's a Jew hit behind a tree and, you know, Jew behind a rock. They leave that part out of the song, but, you know, or the little limerick they're telling there. I'd like to call it a limerick. I think that's kind of funny, right? An Irish poem that these jihadists are singing. From the river to the sea. And if there's a Jew behind a tree or whatever, just having an Irish accent behind it, that'd be very funny. That's very morbid, I know, but I mean, it is very funny still. Metropolitan Police, of course, the most useless fucking police force on this planet. Sorry for my F-bomb, but I have to really emphasize they are just actual terrorists. The Metropolitan Police of the UK, they are genuinely just terrorists. The horrific terrorist attack that took place in Manchester yesterday will have caused significant fear and concern in the communities across the UK, including here in London. Yet, at a time when we want to be deploying every available officer to ensure the safety of those communities, we are instead having to plan for a gathering for more than 1,000 people in Trafalgar Square on Saturday in support of a terrorist organization? Wait, what? Yet at a time when we want to deploy that, so we are instead having to plan for a gathering for more than 1,000 people at Trafalgar Square on Saturday in support of a terrorist organization. Which organization? You know what I mean? Which organization here? By choosing to encourage mass lawbreaking on the scale, Defend Our Juries are drawing resources away from the communities of London at a time where they are needed most. We urge them to do the responsible thing and delay or cancel their plans. So, who is coming here? Is it an actual, like, Middle Eastern, like, thing here, or is this going to be something stupid? Let's see. 1,500 attendees to attend and demonstrate for a prescribed organization. That event requires a significant policing plan. Following the horrific, tragic events that have taken place in Manchester this morning, the details of which are still developing, the Met is stepping up its reassurance and protective security operation across the capital with particular focus on London's Jewish and Muslim communities. However, as you know, previous large-scale events and other concurrent protests place a significant pressure on policing and draws officers away from the communities. They serve to be in central London. This means less neighborhood and response officers in their communities and less officers focusing on serious crimes. With your intent this weekend to attract more than 1,500 people, all with the intention of being arrested, this would require us to deploy hundreds of officers to your event to maintain the law without fear or favor. Your last 3 events, Central London. Okay, so what is the terrorist organization? What is this? Ask you to consider your activity the weekend. Do it a different weekend. They're telling the terrorists to do it a different weekend. This is kind of wild, right? If this was an actual terrorist organization planning to do a gathering, that should be illegal no matter what. And then they're telling them, please break the law another time? Really? That's a crazy way to negotiate with terrorists there, I guess. But okay. What is this, though? We would ensure that we are able to dedicate resources we have to that Jewish Londoners can be. Yeah, if this is a terrorist group, why would they stop? This doesn't make sense. What is Defend Our Juries? This is the terrorist organization, apparently. Go ahead as planned. Today's the Metropolitan Police wrote to us to ask that we postpone Saturday's mass protest in Trafalgar Square, citing significant pressure on policing. Our response, in short, don't arrest us then. Our full response, what is Defend Our Juries? What is this? First, let's say that we utterly condemn the attack on the Jewish community. Wow, it sounds to me like these guys are not terrorists. That's crazy. So, how dare them? We are instead having to plan for a gathering of more than 1,000 people in Trafalgar Square on Saturday night in support of a terrorist organization. That's crazy. That is a crazy thing to say. What are these people doing that's terrorism? Protesting? I want to know what Defend Our Juries is. So I imagine that they'll just tell us right here on the front here. Jurors have a right to acquit a defendant according to their conscience, irrespective of a judge's directions. Every defendant deserves access to fair justice. So you're telling me that because people oppose the law, that they are terrorists? That's not what terrorism is. That's crazy. They're saying, hey, this is a really, really bad, dumb law. We don't like it, and we are protesting. And they're like, oh, these are terrorist sympathizers. It's kind of wild, isn't it? Who are they trying to acquit? Are these guys like pro pro like Muslim bombing because they condemned the Jewish attack on the Jewish community. This is what genuine terrorism looks like, and we join with others condemning it unreservedly. As we have pointed out, sadly unacknowledged, unanswered letters to Met. Okay. Who are these people? Because I haven't seen the UK arresting Muslims. That doesn't seem to be a thing. You know what I mean? Hey, Beyond Dirk. This is kind of a wild, very, very wild claim, isn't it? It's pretty shocking. Let's see. As a Jewish person, see, this is a Jewish person, huh? Okay. I don't know what this group is or what they stand for, really. I know very little about it. So this person is saying we are causing no obstruction, we are committing no acts of violence, we are making no noise, we are breaching no peace, we are using non-violent language, we are peacefully protesting against the UK complicitly in genocide. Okay, so this sounds like maybe possibly a pro-Palestinian group, but if they're genuinely not smashing anything up, then fine, that's what you want to defend, right? Is that what it is? Police ask for protest against Palestine action ban to be postponed after Manchester attack. I think that's okay. I genuinely think that, in all fairness, if the UK is like, hey, we really need, like, police in general, you know, just in case, because maybe the Palestinian protest, you know, they clash with people. You know what I mean? If they came out and said, look, we just need you all to postpone this a bit so we can get people the resources they need for after this terror attack here, maybe, you know, you give us a little bit of time, they can negotiate this out. But it seems like they're not wanting to. But at the end of the day, you know, the police are so useless in the UK. Completely and totally useless. Anyway, what else do we have here? Oh, here we go. My Muslim friend here and across the world have been the kindest in the UK. Okay, so she's got a nice, fun Muslim friend there. And then here's this person. Ahmed Moniz. Your books are garbage, by the way, just like your face. I understand why no one wants to be near you. Okay, cool. Man, Muslims, so the very tolerant Muslims there. Most famous book series of all time. This person also posted, you know, like, a radical Muslim wants to end you, a moderate Muslim wants a radical to end you. And that's 100% accurate, as I said there. Said nice bigotry, it's just so silly. I mean, all you got to do is read their book. It's pretty, pretty obvious. Alrighty, Asmongold doesn't believe Islamophobia is a real word. I don't know why I pulled this up. I don't think I want to listen to that. I get it, you know. It's not a real word. Genuinely not. This guy says, Asmongold really out here taking the hot take route, calling Islamophobia made up. That's going to spark endless Twitter debates. Oh, I don't know. I think people are too stupid to, you know, where the origin of the word was from, you know. They're not going to look it up. They're not going to care. And they're going to think it's a real word. That's fine. Let them be dumb. At the end of the day, you can't make everyone happy, you know. Well, unarmed. Yeah, anyway, we read that too. Okay. I think that's it for the day for the most part. We did Candace Owens. We did that. Oh, and we do need to cover a little bit. Hold on. Not these. Yeah, Nick Sortor was arrested. They arrested a independent journalist, but not violent Antifa members who assault cops and journalists. And, you know, where's her face? Here, this lady. She's a journalist. She got punched in the eye by an Antifa person. They didn't arrest her, but they arrested Nick Sortor. Look at this.
Hey. Whoa. I'm not sure why.
It's crazy. You know?
What's your name?
Oh, Charlie.
You're ready to turn that phone off. Let me scan your body. I'll have a conversation with you. I'm just going to scan you for other devices. It's universal precaution. We're going to have a conversation about a bigger picture here. Shit's about to go down old school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See, people around here don't realize they better pray to God than ask for that. If they don't, what comes next, I wish they had.
I'm going to go right past your cigarette.
That was a weird statement.
Whoa.
Huh. That's odd. Nick Sortor is not an independent journalist. He just posts propaganda on X. Yeah, good. You freaking owned him. Good job, guy. Absolutely stupid, you know? You know, it is absolutely crazy. So, Portland PD have arrested my friend and citizen journalist Nick Sortor. Nick personally delivered Starlink all over western North Carolina to first responders. I was able to thank him in person a couple of months ago, and I am proud to call him my friend, Free Nick Sortor. Very nice, you know? Just to give you a sense of who Nick is, Nick and I sat down in my driveway, talked for hours about Hurricane Helene, politics, and playing with my kids. He's a kind, loving, true, caring person. Yeah, seems nice, you know? It's just crazy. Portland is a third world hellhole. If I defend myself, I will be the one who gets arrested, not the assailant. Antifa is in full control out here. President Trump needs to step in, you know? Yeah, he called it ahead of time, and that's exactly what happens, it seems. It seems Antifa's allowed to go and assault him, and then he gets arrested. Just craziest, you know? Let's see. Is there any other footage? Okay, what happened here?
With the flag.
Oh, they're beating him. They're all coming up and they're all beating him. Look at that.
They're fucking him up.
Yeah.
Hey!
Mark's a veteran. He's got it.
Let's see. He's walking. Let's see what happens here. You can't say that in that voice, dude. It makes you sound like a kid diddler yourself. We'll see you later, Terry.
And look at Portland PD just hanging out, watching people get assaulted. With the flag.
Yeah. I mean, they come after him, though. Look at that. Is that what, Oh, wait, no, I think I misread you. Never mind. My bad. Anyway, yeah, and then they arrest him, of course. They arrest him for defending himself. He's supposed to sit there and take the beating. You know? That's just the way it is. And now he's been arrested. It's crazy, isn't it? White House announces Apple removed ICE tracking app after Pam Bondi pressure, which is awesome. Wanted to get that in there, too. This app was used to undermine ICE and their role in removing illegal aliens. You know? Yeah, Apple doesn't want the liability when some Redditor uses it to commit political violence. That's probably absolutely dead accurate. And of course, you know, we saw, this is an older video. I just love seeing it. They'll drag them all off one at a time. Gotta love it. Just gotta love it. You know, absolutely nothing these idiots can do. Let's see if there's some more. I just want to see more people get dragged out. So funny. Look at this freak out. Hold on. I'm the flip-off bandit. Yeah, see that? He doesn't even have to look. He's just like, whatever. What an absolute loser. So cringy. Don't hit me.
Hey, there's people in the way.
Oh, they're still doing it. They're still doing it. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that commitment. Look at that commitment. Man, those are just some absolute middle fingers there, aren't they? That's just crazy. Oh, he's going to do it too. Oh, yeah. Oh, the flip-offs are too strong. What are you doing with your shirt there, dude? Put it down. I'll take you all on. Let's go. He sees this. He's just throwing his hand out there. Do you see him right behind my head here? What the hell? Yeah, I'll take you all on. Let's go. Yeah. What are y'all backing up for? Why don't you run up to him? You'll take them all on? Go take them all on. Man, that is so hilarious, you know? Oh, wow. Wait, see if I can find the frog. The frog art? Wait, where? Was it in here? Was there frog art? I missed something? Huh. I don't know. Anyway, it is very funny, though. It's very funny to see just ICE get the crap kicked out of them. Democrats claim that Trump putting troops in our cities is authoritarian. However, after doing this in D.C., no civilians were harmed, and yet crime plummeted and lives were saved. Exactly. Oh, well, people are just going to lie about it. That's just a fact, you know? People will always, always, always lie. They will just always lie about the facts that are going on. I say people. Democrats. Democrats will always lie about what's going on. Because now we see D.C., there's no crime there. Like, not zero. But there's so little now compared to what there was. Why is that a problem? Kind of wild, right? Anyway. Why do I get the feeling that this chunky monkey right here is going to be dancing or something? I just have a feeling. Oh, she's watching Taylor Swift. Great. She can do that technically. Yeah. Gross. Who watches Taylor Swift? Seriously. Anyway. Tim Pool comment on this too. Because Antifa are Democrats funded by Democrat NGOs, protected by Democrat police. You know? Nick Sortor, unclear why, as he wasn't doing anything criminal, you know? Doesn't seem like he was at all. He was getting beaten by Antifa. He batted them off of him, and then he gets arrested. For what reason? Anyway, lives a TikTok. And then also, you know, Nick Sortor posted this, let's see. So it was right before he got caught up in it. But yeah. This took way too long. Trump DOJ intervened, pushing Apple to make the move. Yeah. So, anyway, just is what it is. It's kind of wild. But, oh well. We're going to get that sorted out. Portland is going to lose their entire little army. And then that is going to allow people in Portland to actually vote. Because they won't be getting beat up by Antifa members. And they're going to vote that entire regime out. Portland will actually get fixed. It wouldn't surprise me if Portland goes red after all of this. But anyway, yeah, she's pretty mid. I don't understand her music at all. It's just not very entertaining to me. But anyway, guys, I got to hop off here for tonight. Hopefully, I don't know if I'll stream. I'm going to be recording all day tomorrow in Toxic Gaming. So that's coming back, Madness. We are recording it tomorrow. We've got it all planned out. We're doing some Halloween stuff. And I think we're going to really bring it back pretty good. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have some good times. Any of you guys want to actually go view it? Here, I'll just pull it on up. You know, in case it's not very family friendly, I can tell you this. Intoxicating here. You know, I don't advertise it often or anything like that. But if you guys do want to go there and watch it, here it is. I'll probably put it in the Discord. So the gaming vids are going to be, I don't know how long it'll take Kai, but it shouldn't take him more than a week to upload these. So I'll be recording it all day tomorrow. I would expect episodes sometime between really probably Monday and Wednesday this upcoming week. So, you know. Hey, absolutely. Thank you for being here, Terry. I really appreciate it. It's yeah, we have a lot of fun here, you know. I got to be doing these live streams more consistently, and with it, you know, there's just scheduling right now that I got to figure out a bit. It's you know, age-old question. When do I have time to live stream? And falls between, you know, work, the wife, and the kids. The live streaming just, unfortunately, it comes last, and that's what kind of really holds the channel back. Unfortunately, you know, it just is what it is. It's hard to get past that. I'm trying to break through that barrier a bit and just get a little lucky on getting a viral video, or, you know, someone popping into like a bunch of people popping into the chat all at once, because I, you know, end up just, you know, it's just luck of the draw. You got to be really, really lucky when you're in my position. A lot of people don't have to be because they can actually focus on their videos. If you make a really, really good video, you're going to make it on YouTube. I just know that for a fact. Simply because I've had a lot of good videos make it over on a dark path. Actually, I need to check in with this channel again and see how things are going. I've had a lot of really successful videos here. You know, 1.2 thousand views, that's okay and stuff, but 2,000 views on that. 16,000 views on this one, 14,000 views on that one, 1.3 thousand, and then 10,000 views on this one, right down here, the Kaylee Elise video. So, you know, I haven't uploaded many videos. I've only done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 or 15 videos here. 19. It says 19 video. Oh, shorts. I got shorts. Yeah. You know, they do relatively well. They're pretty decent videos. They get a lot more views than this channel. And, you know, it's just you put in a lot of more effort and you just get more out of it. That's just the way it works. I just don't have the time right now as much, and that's kind of what stinks. So I'm trying my best. I'm trying to allocate all my time to you guys. And, you know, we're seeing how that pays off and stuff. And now I'm able to allocate just a little bit of time, one day out of the week, to recording some Intoxigaming. And, you know, we'll see what happens there. We're going to have a little bit of fun. It would help me out if you guys went and supported by subscribing to that channel. You should let the chat schedule your lives. Yeah, exactly. Just have chat randomly schedule it all out, and I just follow it. That'd be a hell of a trip. That'd be an adventure for sure. See how that is. I'm a night guy. Always have been. Always like being up late at night. It's what I do whenever I go to work, you know, so it's just nice, quiet, you know, being in the dark where I belong, I guess. And I would like to start doing that with chat more often. It would be a lot easier, too, if I had a door over here. I don't. It just goes right into my bedroom. So when the wife has to sleep, I can't do any, like, late-night streams or anything. I would really like to start being able to. I'm going to try and get somebody to come in and construct a door for this giant open freaking area. It doesn't make any sense. They didn't put any doors on the offices. And the offices are too small. I have 2 offices in this house that are small. And it's like, man, if only you allocated that square footage a little better when, I don't know, this house was built so weird. It's like, I don't know why. I genuinely don't understand it. So, you know, is that. I wish I was an early morning person. I feel like I'd get my day started better if I were. But unfortunately, I am not. But anyway, guys, like, subscribe, and share, all that good stuff. Go to Dark Path. Would appreciate it. I should start uploading there again. We are getting Intoxigaming going, though. Intoxigaming is absolutely coming back. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, we're going to have a good time here. Why is this on? Well, how does SpongeBob's house actually work? I don't care about that. It works because it's a cartoon. Okay, here we go. We got, you know, wow, what the heck? Spooky update. How did this get, wait, latest videos? How did this videos get so many views in, like, so many weird ways? 182 views? I don't even, what? Things have been taking off on this channel in a weird way. What's my most popular, or what's our most popular video on here? Oh, Breath of the Wild, 602 views. Huh. I'm actually surprised this, I didn't know any of our videos were getting over more like 1 or 2 views a video. It's hilarious. This is just something that we just kind of do every now and then. We're just bored. We're like, let's just stream us and let's just capture some funny stuff, funny moments. And that's just kind of always been what Intoxigaming is. Huh. Oh man, Zoe's artwork is so good though. Shout out to Zoe for sure. Anyway, guys, I gotta hop off here. Thank you all for watching. Hello, hated locks. Wow. Bad time for you to pop into the stream. I'm actually getting off here, but definitely follow. And, you know, we'll do this live stream again, you know, or, well, not this live stream, but we'll do other live streams here in the future. Probably got to take the weekend off. I have no choice but to take Saturday off on streaming so I can record Intoxigaming. But anyway, yeah, go follow us there, guys, and I'll see you guys here in the next one. Later. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Race.